I have tried to make this video so many times. I tried to make this video 3 weeks ago, and I decided it wasn't the right time to go ahead and upload this. Now, waking up today, it is July 21st. Something told me to go ahead and sit down at the setup and explain what went down with the FRS. Now, I'm going to put this out there right now. I'm not blaming anybody that's worked on my car. I'm not blaming the tuners. I'm not blaming the shops. But I am going to say this right now. After I explain what happened, there are going to be doubts. I have my own doubts, and that's the main reason why I have not acted and I have not gotten the car back up and running yet. Now, let me go ahead and explain all of the modifications that I have made to the car the couple weeks before the motor actually went out, because I believe these have a strong impact on what actually happened. So, if you guys were unaware, I went ahead and I got a P-tuning flex fuel kit installed on my Turbo FRS because I was getting an E-tune from Zach Tucker from Counterspace Garage, because we were trying to see how far we could push my stock FA20 and see how long it would last. Now, he recommended, because the car is going to be on E85 and obviously the different variations of E85 you get out of the pump, it's probably in your best interest to go ahead and get a flex fuel kit to push upwards of 400 horsepower. Now, I completely agree with him on that, and that's exactly why I went from 100% E85 to the flex fuel kit, just so we could make it a little bit safer. Now, I also went ahead and got a 700 horsepower spec JDL intercooler as well to kind of keep the temps down, and I also went ahead and got a JDL oil cooler to obviously cool the oil, because the FA20 oil runs hot, especially when you have a boosted application. Now, I also went ahead, this was done maybe, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks prior. I got the Trackspec T1 hood vents installed in the car to extract as much heat as I could from the engine bay to prevent anything from overheating. Now, this is kind of irrelevant, but I did go ahead and get a new South Bend Stage 3 clutch installed on the car as well. That's rated for about 450 foot-pounds of torque, because I knew eventually I was going to want to push even more power on this car with a built motor. Why not go ahead and get the clutch done? And obviously with that clutch, I put on a Veris forged clutch fork to kind of hold everything together. So I had as many supporting mods as possible, minus the built motor. So that's literally the last thing I would need, honestly, is just a built motor. The car is ready to push, a quite, decent amount of power with the built motor. So during the data log period, because I figured I probably should go ahead and switch tuners. Now, I had absolutely no problems with Graham tuning my car, but I felt like I should probably get into the groove of doing an E-tune, because I'm currently in the process of moving from Illinois to Texas, and I knew eventually I would need to have a revision done to this car. I would need an E-tune to get the built motor running on this car. Why not go ahead and kind of get everything, situated? Why not, get familiar with E-tuning? Because I'm only familiar with dyno tunes. I had no idea how to E-tune a car up until Zach from Counterspace Garage explained how to set up the ECU tech, explained how to get all the proper data log parameters selected, which honestly is very confusing if it's your first time. So I really thank him for letting me know how to do it properly. I knew I would have to get it done, and I kind of wanted to be familiar with it before, obviously, we put something like a built motor in the car where, that's a lot of money, thrown into a car. I wanted to be running, right, off of a startup. So during the data log period of this car, we were just breaking in the daily drivability, because obviously we have a flex fuel kit, we have a bigger intercooler, we have an oil cooler. Temps are going to be fluctuating from that previous tune. Everything has to be locked in perfectly. Now, during this daily drivability, we weren't getting into boost. We were just driving the car normally as you would if you were to go to a 9 to 5, just shifting at like 3,500 RPM. The car honestly never saw anything higher than 35 RPM for over a month because remember, I went ahead and replaced my clutch, had to get everything done. So the car was driven very, very lightly. Now, after we kind of got that daily drivability logged in, the car was driving perfectly. Honestly, the best it's ever driven as far as daily drivability. It was driving great. I love the car. After that was kind of locked in, it was time to go ahead and get some pulls done so we can lock in the 9 PSI map first, because that was going to be my low boost map. And then we were going to go ahead and lock in the 15 PSI map, which was going to be my high boost map close to 400 wheel horsepower. Now, I have a Greddy T518Z turbo. 9 PSI with this turbo is not breaking 350 wheel horsepower. So it's still in that relative window of the safe area. Obviously, a turbo on a stock, or not a stock, an NAFA20, you know, it anything over 300 is hit or miss, you know. But the rule of thumb, don't go over 350, you're fine. Obviously, you know, my motor had other things to say. But as we were doing our data log, I was instructed to do a pull from 2300 RPM up to 6300 RPM to kind of get the full range, so you can kind of, you know, nitpick and, you know, make adjustments for the revision so the car could run right under boost. That is when the motor went out. Literally almost immediately after I did that 2300 to 6300 RPM pull, white smoke, and it was a lot of white smoke. I just turned the car off and I just put it at home. Now, I did the data log probably, I shit you guys not, 2 minutes from my house. Like, it was down the street. I purposely did it down the street just in case if something would go wrong. The car could be just put at home, turned off, and, you know, I could assess the damage. So after I did that data log, I originally did not tell my tuner that I believe the car, you know, blew, because personally, this is the first time that I've tuned with Zach Tucker. I didn't want to tell him, you know, immediately, literally right after he told me to do a data log, that the car blew, because I had a fear. Now, again, this is kind of just my own paranoia. I had a fear that if I said that, because I've seen this on the forums on you know, the FRS beers, the 86 pages, that, you know, after you tell a tuner, hey, the car messed up or it blew up after a data log, they cut and dip. So I didn't want that to potentially happen. I don't think Zach Tucker would ever do that, but, you know, for my own security, I didn't say anything. I went ahead and I did an oil change with my buddies, and there was, you know, metal in the oil. There was a lot of white smoke coming out the exhaust, but I could not find any visual oil or coolant leaks near the motor. So I figured, since all the symptoms are leading towards it, that I blew a head gasket, which ultimately means the motor is going to have to be pulled, and a built short block should be going in for its replacement. Now, I did not tell my tuner at this time that I believe I blew the motor, because remember, I was data logging this entire process. So I figured that let me just go ahead and send him the log and see what he has to say for it, see if there's any anomalies that he sees, because he's the tuner, he knows what he's looking at, and I data logged this entire process. Literally, from me turning on the car, driving around, doing the pull, the motor blowing, and me parking the car and then turning it off. I went ahead and did this entire process, you know, with that data log obviously on. Obviously, I did the oil change with it turned off, but that's kind of irrelevant. So after I got, you know, word back from my tuner, the first thing, literally the first thing that he said was, how was my boost controller routed? Now, this is kind of where I started to have doubts, because if you guys aren't aware, about a month ago, when I got the car tuned on ED5 so we could turn the boost up, I got a boost controller installed by 6-Star Motorsports. Now, this was their brand of boost controller. Now, I previously had brought them a Greddy ProFect boost controller, which they refused to install. They said that it was not going to work well with their tuner, and the tuner did not like to use it. Now, I actually went ahead and explained this and expressed this to Zach, and he actually confirmed that that Greddy boost controller is not good, and that he himself would not use it to tune the car as well. So I guess that is truth, that that boost controller is not good. Now, they use their own brand boost controller. Now, I asked them like 20 times on the phone, is this a good brand boost controller, or should I go ahead and pick up a GrimmSpeed boost controller to put on the car? They said it was a good boost controller. It's their product. And from the fact that they were tuning the car and the car's already there, I was like, you know what? Go ahead and install it. Let's go ahead and crank this baby up and make some more power on 885. Now, again, they routed it up. It's their brand boost controller. I was unaware on how to route a boost controller, so I figured, again, let's let a shop do it. It's their own product. They know how to route it up. So the first thing that my tuner, Zach Tucker, said was, how was my boost controller routed? So obviously, I think anybody in my position, even if you were mechanically inclined and just had a shop go ahead and do something, if your tuner immediately questions something that you did not do that is a shop's product, you're going to have doubts. Now, this is kind of solidifying the doubt for me. Again, I'm not taking shots at anybody. I'm not taking shots at any shops. This is my own personal experience. Obviously, they've worked on many cars and, you know, they've done amazing work. I think they were literally in like, you know, a getaway TV show, 6-Star Motorsports. So obviously they make good cars. I just got bad luck. But about a year ago, they installed my injectors in my fuel pump, which ultimately was a fail because my fuel pump, the seals were not installed properly or they weren't even used. And after I got gas, parked at a parking lot, all the gas just literally leaked under my car and I had to get the car towed. They owned up to it. They fixed it, you know, great customer service from 6-Star. But after that, over a year ago, and now this, I mean, I kind of have my doubts on if it was routed up properly. I need to just kind of think about what I'm going to do, you know, going forward. Now, obviously, you can make the argument that it was a bad tune, that, you know, the tuner blew up the car, but at the same time, we were only tuning on 9 PSI, and after I went ahead and sent him that data log, he quite literally said that the turbo was maxed, and he had almost no control over the boost. Now, again, I trust Zach Tucker. He's gotten a lot of good reviews as far as the number one or one of the number one Subaru tuners when you go ahead and boost this platform. And I think he would be 110% honest with me as far as what goes on during the tuning process, revision process, and what he could see within the data log. So I'm kind of unsure on what I should do going forward. Now, after we kind of went ahead and talked some more, he then explained that what he meant by the turbo being maxed is that it hit the max pressure that it was supposed to hit during that run. But at the same time, I kind of still have my doubts on how the motor actually went out. Obviously, the F820 could have just went up and died because it was being pushed previously, but at the same time, it was, you know, babied for at least a month prior. Obviously, that really doesn't have much to do with it, but just kind of the timing and how everything went down, I'm not really too sure what to believe. Again, I'm not taking shots at the shop, 6-Star Motorsports. I'm not taking shots at the tuner, again, but I don't know what to believe right now, and all I do know, and this is something that Zach and I do agree on, is that the motor does need to come out, and we need to know 110% what went down, what failed, so when we put in a new built motor, we know what to do going forward, because I do still plan on getting the car tuned by Zach Tucker. It's just, you know, what I believe, honestly, bad timing. And personally, again, he said that it hit the max pressure that it was supposed to hit during that run because it was a 9 PSI map for map 1 that the car was on, and there was also a 15 PSI map that was not tuned for yet because obviously I'm on map 1, which is 9 PSI. I personally believe just the way everything lined up, He said that he had no boost control. First, he said that literally, how is my boost controller routed? I believe the car over boosted and blew the head. That's what I believe, but until I actually get the motor pulled out, we can kind of see what actually went down. I mean, we're not going to know. So, again, like I said, I believe the car over boosted because of an improperly routed boost controller or a failed boost controller. I don't know. We'll see, but that's what I believe. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I'm not taking shots, but if you guys are in my position and your tuner literally told you before you even said the motor blew, how is your boost controller routed? What would you guys think? Now, the funny thing is, and this is kind of why I believe that it's potentially a head or something is leaking, is that the car drives fine. It just blows out white smoke. The oil temps are fine. The oil pressure's fine. All that is within, reasonable value. So, obviously, something is wrong. I have not driven the car in over a month. It's literally just been sitting. And I need to kind of figure out exactly what I'm going to do. Now, here is kind of the dilemma that I am right now. It's not really a bad dilemma, but it's just a dilemma. I'm currently moving in 2 months. There's no possible way that I could get an IAG Stage 3 motor within a month. There's no way I can get it installed within a month as well. And personally for me, just how much I drive my car, I can't get that break-in period done before I move. Now, obviously, I don't want to have to deal with a car that is not fully tuned, not on a fully broken-in motor, and have to rush, potentially have a shop rush to get the install done, because I live in Illinois. I live right outside Chicago. All the Subaru shops out here are booked out past, the New Year's. It's impossible to get that stuff done. And with an IAG motor, you need to get it done, or it's, recommended to get it done by an IAG certified shop, just in case if anything goes wrong, it's warranted. You get a brand new one, right back to you. So I need to go ahead and figure out exactly what I want to do with the time that I have. Well, obviously, I'm not doing anything because I don't have time, but I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to do once I have time to go ahead and work on the FRS. Now, obviously, moving forward with the channel, this really isn't bad news at all because, I expected this to happen. Obviously, the way it went out, I would have preferred the car to blow, racing somebody, pushing the car on the track, because then I know that I blew it up. But at the same time, again, I could have blew it up. Probably did. I don't know. All I know is I was following all the parameters within the data log. Zach Tucker said everything looked good as far as the car running, but, obviously there's something burning. He said that there was potentially some boost issue. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'd rather have preferred the car to blow, racing it, tracking it, or just downright pushing it hard, on the back roads with some friends. But that's not how it went out. It is what it is. I'm going to get the car fixed when I do have time. But like I said, I don't have time right now, so we're going to have to just work what we got. So that is the reason why I have not been making content with my Turbo FRS. Now, I need to be 110% honest with you guys. This reason right here is honestly why I'm making this video and why it took me so long to make this video. I honestly enjoy and I have more fun driving my Mustang GT than I do my Turbo FRS. Now, again, obviously, this has a lot to do with, me being a Mustang fan. My dream car is a Mustang. It's actually a 2004 Terminator Cobra, and I just like cruising that car. I like the V8 sounds. I like the way the car handles. I like the way the car feels. It's a rugged, it's a raw feel, and it's just fun to drive. Now, going forward on the channel, me moving to Texas, obviously it's beneficial for not only this channel, but also my gaming channel, because a lot of companies that I do work with for that channel are based out in Texas. My brands manager lives out in Texas. I have a lot of other friends that also live out there and that are moving to Texas as well. Texas is a huge state that's heavy on cars, modifications, and they have a lot of shops that specialize in, you know, building up Mustangs. And honestly, I know this might upset a couple of people on the channel, but I think I'm going to start building the Mustang quite extensively. Now, I've already priced out, I already have a quote for an entire build, turbo build, built motor for the Mustang, and I think I'm actually going to go ahead and proceed with that as of right now and kind of put the FRS on the back burner. Now, am I giving up on the FRS? No, but I know that I would enjoy having a 800 plus horsepower Mustang, 1,000 horsepower capable motor in that car over a 550, 600 wheel horsepower BRZ. Now again, I made this channel to kind of express my love for cars. I'm not tying this channel to only one type of car, one genre of cars. I love all cars, and I like to express my enjoyment of cars with you guys. And I know that personally, 110% without a doubt in my mind, I literally knew as soon as I drove that car out of the guy's driveway in Indiana when I bought it that this was ultimately going to be a build on the channel. And considering the fact that the FRS is down, I don't have time to physically get a motor into the car right now. I don't trust these shops out here in Illinois to get it done. The only other shop that I could have it done, they're booked out completely, P&L, so that's not going to happen. I could get the FRS shipped to Off the Line Performance, which actually was recommended by quite a few people to do so, and I know they do a lot of good work with FRSs, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to have to deal with the hassle of building a Mustang, moving, and then going ahead and having to deal with a car that I don't even have in the state that I'm living in currently. I don't think the time is right for me to go ahead and do that because I don't have a garage that I can work on like 5 cars with. I don't have a shop that I can have people come in and help me work on cars. You know, I'm just a kid who just likes to enjoy cars. And I mean, realistically right now, I think the best decision for me personally, and I know that I'm making the right decision, is to work on what I enjoy right now and go ahead and fix the FRS when I know it's time to fix it, and when, most importantly, I find the people that I trust to go ahead and get the job done. Now again, I'm still going to be working with Zach Tucker, but as far as getting the motor pulled, because once that motor gets pulled, I mean, full send from there. Once that motor gets pulled, bring it that ball rolling, but at the same time, I want to go ahead and build up the Mustang. Like I said, I got the quote for the turbo kit, the built motor, return style fuel system, everything. Now, I'm still kind of on the fence if I want to turbo or supercharge that Mustang. I mean, a Pro Charger seems nice for that car, but hey, I got quotes for everything for that. But at the end of the day, I think building up a Mustang would be something that I personally would enjoy more, considering the fact that it is one of my dream cars in that specific body style. And also, I know down the line, I'd want to own a GT500, a Corvette, something along the lines like that. I don't know. I knew as soon as I bought that Mustang as the daily that V8 was going to take over. And it has. And I just kind of want to make this video to let you guys know that, you know, I'm going to make the content. Obviously, going to continue making content on the channel like I have been. It hasn't been a slowdown in content. Hell, I think I've actually probably uploaded more frequently since I've gotten the Mustang. But obviously because, you know, there's more to work on because it's not fully built up like how the FRS is. But I feel that right now I need to do what I want to do and I like to do what I enjoy and what makes sense given the situation that I'm in, the time that I have, and the opportunity that I have moving to Texas. Because I know damn well I would build a badass Mustang. I would build a badass Mustang. I can see it right now. Man. So, again, like I said, I know that probably upsets a lot of you guys in the channel, or maybe a couple of you guys in the channel, but at the end of the day, like I said, I built this channel to kind of express my love for cars, and I want to share kind of my experiences with you guys. Again, I'm not selling the FRS. I'm still going to own it. Still going to have it. But right now, I think I know what I need to do. And I woke up today, something told me to make this video and just be straightforward and honest with you guys and explain that I know what I need to do. So hope you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy, Ears POV. Thank you guys for 5,000 subscribers, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Deuces.